Hey everyone, Edgar here, the host of Snug Wrestling. If you're looking to unwind without the hangover, check out Good Fuels. These are THC infused seltzers made with all natural ingredients, clean, crisp, and consistent every time. It's an easy, balanced way to relax, hang out with friends, or just vibe without the drawbacks of alcohol. And because you listen to Snug Wrestling, we got an exclusive offer for all of our listeners, 20% off at shop.getgoodfuels.com when you use promo code SNUG at checkout. That's shop.getgoodfuels.com and you get 20% off with promo code SNUG SNUG at checkout. That's Good Fuels, real chill, no hangover, must be 21 and over.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Snug Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
What is going on, everybody? Good evening. Happy Friday night. It is time for the Snug Wrestling Podcast. I am Edgar. I am the host. The Snug Crew is here, and we are going to review WWE Friday Night SmackDown, where we were going to see, well, we did see a big championship match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. We're getting closer to WrestleMania, so we saw face-to-face with Rhea, Jade Cargill. We saw a lot of good matches here tonight. Overall, for a 3-hour SmackDown, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't feel like it dragged super long. Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good show. But how you guys feeling tonight, fellas? Did you guys enjoy the show tonight?
I thought the show was decent. It was all right. Still, they're doing nothing to justify these fucking 3 hours. When it came down to it, I could tell the difference between the show tonight and the show last week and the week before. Now that Road Dogg has officially resigned from being one of the head producers, head writers on SmackDown, the show felt different. We saw some people tonight that we haven't seen in a long time, like the Motor City Machine Guns, like Fraxium. There was a lot going on tonight, a little bit of freshness, a little bit of shit that just constant retread. But I definitely think that the show was overall okay. I do still think that the last show Road Dogg was on, the Go Home show for Elimination Chamber, was a better show. But interested to see what SmackDown looks like moving forward without him kind of at the helm of guiding it. So I guess we'll see from here on out, man. But thank you, Road Dogg, for a lot of years of service to the SmackDown brand. I know he was under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress last year. SmackDown wasn't the greatest, but a lot of that wasn't just him. We learned from Unreal a lot of the ideas and stuff he wanted to do, like push Chelsea Green, push R-Truth, were things that were shot down in creative by Triple H and by other people telling him, well, we know you want all this new and fresh stuff, but then what? Instead of just letting him cook and letting it see what happens. So I feel like not a lot of the problems that happen on SmackDown really, rest on his shoulders. So if they're going to put him in a position where he finally feels like, I just don't want to be here anymore, well, then let's see how much better you make the show, because he stepped down for a reason, and SmackDown has been a grind to get through for the last year plus. So I'm interested to see where this goes leading into Mania, what the writing looks like, how the tones change, but it remains to be seen.
Well, the reason that I read that Road Dogg left the WWE is simply he just wasn't happy, is what the reports were saying.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, him getting a lot of blame on Twitter, a lot of blame by fans and podcasters and interviewers, all putting it on him, the last year, and he's going to take the hit. WWE has never been a company of shared blame. WWE is always looking for someone to rest the blame on. And we see in Unreal, a lot of the stuff, he wanted to do a lot of new stuff. He wanted to try new things. And he was constantly questioned. Well, we do that, but then what then? Well, we know you want to push Chelsea, but we can't have her beat Alexa. We can't have her beat Charlotte. We can't have her do this. We can't have her do that. You want truth. He shaves his head. We let him be serious. But then what? What does he do? Then what? And it's like, dude, just let him try something new because the fans want something new. But apparently, new is a problem and he wasn't happy, and I don't blame him for not being happy. So let's just see where it goes.
I didn't even know all about this until just about now. But I mean, if it makes SmackDown better and like more easier to get through without being bored, which it definitely was tonight. I was invested in almost everything. Then I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm happy that he's gone. I'm just gonna say I'm happy that this is how they're going to book SmackDown from now on, like the style of it. Not that Road Dogg's style of booking was there wasn't anything wrong with it, in my opinion, but I mean, it was just really hard to get through SmackDown without getting bored or uninterested. So if this improves it for me, then I'm all good.
Yeah, I really did not know about any of this crap with Road Dogg up until now. I'm not really the one who pays attention to reports that much. I don't really get them. That's way more of Blood and Snug's area of expertise there. So there's that. But this show, it definitely had its ups. It's had its questionable moments. But hey, once again, like Blood said, we got to see some people that we don't really see other than backstage segments, really, like Fraxium, everybody else there. A random put together of R-Truth and Damian Priest, in that I was like, what the hell? But still. But we also got a little bit of thing with Johnny Gargano as well, and all he's been doing is just laying there in the back. So we got a little bit of something with that as well. So there were some ups, there were some downs, but overall it was a pretty decent show.
Last thing I'll say on it is SmackDown, WWE entirely, Raw much, but SmackDown for the most part has suffered from the too many cooks in the kitchen situation. Too many people with too many ideas and no real direction on where to go. And it's been suffering at this point since a few months after WrestleMania 40. It really has been. We all know it. We all know that SmackDown was the fucking show for 4 years. It was better than Raw for 4 straight years. And then as soon as WrestleMania 40 ends, they make some changes. Some people get switched around, new writing team. And next thing you know, Road Dogg's in charge, but it never felt like they really trusted his vision and direction for the show. And it constantly felt like things he wanted to do were being overridden. So now with different cooks in the kitchen, I'm hoping this is going to bring SmackDown back to where fans are interested in it, where they're not bored, they're not sick of watching it, because wrestling should be fun. It shouldn't feel like a chore to get through. And for us who are wrestling content creators, SmackDown does feel like it's a chore to get through a lot of the time. So I'm looking forward to seeing what, oh God, to quote Triple H, this new era of SmackDown is going to look sick of new.
Yeah, they also announced too recently that they hired a new lead writer for Monday Night Raw as well. So it's not just changes in the SmackDown writing team, it's also over on Monday Night Raw. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out this coming Monday Night Raw. But let's get into it, you guys. The show started off with Randy Orton, the men's Elimination Chamber winner. Randy Orton is going to be in WrestleMania. He's going to be one of the main events. And, Randy Orton has been in many WrestleManias, right? I can't remember the exact number that he mentioned, Randy. Maybe 21. You guys can tell me.
21, I think.
Out of those 21 WrestleManias, he's main evented 2. So it's pretty crazy that in the year of 2026, Randy Orton is going to main event barely his 3rd WrestleMania. It's kind of a crazy thought. But yeah, at first I was kind of not shitting on the fact that Randy was going to be the main event, because at first we thought it was going to be Randy versus Drew, right? But after seeing this promo, hearing what Randy Orton had to say, I'm happy for Randy that he's getting to main event another WrestleMania in his career. But then he got interrupted by Trick Williams. Trick Williams got a huge pop. The people love his entrance. They love Trick Williams. And Randy Orton hit him with a nice little RKO. But yeah, Randy Orton, he's going to Mania, and we get to see Trick Williams once again rub shoulders with the big names in the company, like a Randy Orton.
I definitely think it's a decent way to start the show off. It's safe. It's very WWE. Hey, you just won the chamber. This is everybody's first time since seeing you win the chamber. You need to remind the people you won the chamber. Remind people, hey, I'm one of the most beloved professional wrestlers of all time. I'm one of the most beloved professional wrestlers in this company. And if you want to see me kick somebody's ass at the biggest show of the year, buy a ticket at WrestleMania. I'm walking out of Las Vegas with that championship around my waist. I will not be leaving empty-handed. And it's a very simple, easy, very, promotion-ridden type of promo. It was very, very cut of the mill. It's nothing we haven't heard anybody say before. He didn't say anything shocking. And Trick comes out, and he's going to talk about his lemon pepper steppers and, Randy's being goofy and, hey, I'm taller than you. And, let's measure heights and stuff. And he lets Trick eat an RKO. And as far as it goes, it was inoffensive. It popped the crowd. I think it made Trick look a little weak because why on earth would you ever let your guard down around someone who you've learned over the last 20 fucking, 4 years of his career, don't ever drop your guard around him. And he's done it to you before. But I digress. Inoffensive, mildly entertaining opening. I wouldn't say it's entertaining. I've seen this a million times. I've seen this promo a million times. I've seen this RKO out of nowhere a million times. It was fine.
I liked it. I liked the opener. I liked the fact that Randy just had to catch up just in case there was any new people that didn't exactly know how many Manias he's main evented. I didn't know how much he main evented. I only knew that he main evented once. That's all I knew, but I didn't know he main evented twice. But just seeing him just remind you or the people or whatever the fuck you want to call it, it doesn't matter who you are or how many titles you've held, how many world titles you've held, if you've broken any records or not, that doesn't mean that you'll automatically get into the main event of WrestleMania. I mean, for instance, look at Drew McIntyre, which I don't know why I said that. But yeah, I do like the fact that basically Trick Williams stole, I think his name was Bobby Roode or Robert Roode's stick with the spinner. I like that, and I think it suits Trick very well. But yeah, the opener was entertaining for me.
Oh yeah, it was completely entertaining. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, when he said that he only main evented 2 WrestleManias, I was shocked because I thought it would have been a whole lot more than that. I was thinking a good 6, 7, maybe 8.
Well, Roman stole 10 of them.
You have a point on that one. But still, I completely thought, Randy Orton had to have done way more than that. No, it's literally only been 2 WrestleManias his entire career that he main evented. I was shocked by that. Surprised to literally no one. Trick Williams tries to come out. I have a feeling at some point within these next 7 weeks, we might get a thing going on between those 2. But obviously they're going to be focusing on Randy and what happened with the main event, but we'll get to that later on. But I do like the fact that Randy Orton didn't just RKO him. He pulled off the Spinneroonie with Booker T or something similar to it right after. So I absolutely love that because I just found it hilarious that he did that and then walked away.
Yeah, Randy out there just having the time of his life, it seems like, every time he's out there. And another person, too, who seems to be having the time of their life is Carmelo Hayes. He's back with the U.S. Open Challenge with the mystery opponent. And it was El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. from AAA, the Latin American Championship down there in Mexico. This was unexpected, man. It kind of, makes you, it reminds you, anyone can answer these fucking challenges, right? It could be someone from NXT. Hell, I mean, is TNA still in a partnership? Maybe it could be someone from TNA, you know? But this time it was someone from AAA. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. is someone who he's been on NXT a lot. So he's used a lot on WWE TV. He was feuding with Ethan Page. They've had some great matches in AAA and NXT. So I'm pretty familiar with Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. And I was happy to see him on SmackDown. Carmelo Hayes won. They had a good match. Carmelo Hayes retained, but he also defeated a Latin American champion from AAA, which to me, that's a pretty big deal. That's like their intercontinental champion down there. He's pretty protected in AAA. So I thought this was really good.
I thought it was all right. Yeah. First time ever seeing Dr. Wagner Jr. wrestle. Because I don't watch AAA. I barely watch NXT, if ever. And I thought it was a nice showing for him. It was definitely better than some of the other AAA guys who have randomly shown up on, SmackDown or Raw in the last half year and, botched out the get-go. Looking at you, Mr. Iguana. But when it came down to it, I thought it was a serviceable match. I thought he gave a competitive back and forth with Carmelo, but I've seen Carmelo struggle harder to beat somebody. I feel like Wagner, in my opinion, for someone who's, a lucha libre, a luchador, I thought he was a little slow in the ring, a little slow paced. I didn't get a lot of energy out of him. I didn't really feel like I was rallying behind him like the rest of the crowd was. But I thought it was a decent showing. I can't say I'm impressed by him because, I mean, you look at the Monday night and Friday night rosters, you're talking, Rey Fenix, Rey Mysterio, fucking Penta, Dragon Lee this past Monday with Gunther. And so when I look at like a Dr. Wagner Jr., I'm just like, it's kind of the comparison thing where I'm like, I mean, you're a solid wrestler, but you ain't doing anything that they're doing. And so it's hard for me to be like, oh my God, this guy was fucking amazing. I thought he was good. I thought he was really good. And I'm glad he had a good showing, and I'm glad he got to get up there in front of a massive audience like SmackDown. Ratings and, viewership dwindling maybe. It's still really good for him. And I'm glad he got the opportunity because he definitely deserves it. I think all those AAA guys deserve it to at least come up. If you're a part of the company, you deserve to show your stuff on the bigger roster.
I do completely agree that it was absolutely phenomenal for Dr. Wagner Jr. and everything with that. But Snug, you want to know who I think should accept one of these open challenges? I say pull Ethan goddamn Page up and show the main roster people what Ethan Page can do. Like, I would love to see Ethan Page show up on the main roster. But the problem is they're not pulling the trigger on pulling him up. Instead, they're keeping him down in NXT, in which I absolutely hate that decision because he's so damn good. And he's had a few one-on-one matches with Carmelo Hayes before down in NXT. So I would not mind seeing Ethan Page going up against Carmelo Hayes for that United States title. I wouldn't mind.
Or Ricky Saints.
Yeah, that was one of the first names that came to mind when I saw El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. show up on SmackDown because he had a long feud with Ethan Page, and I'm like, damn, Wagner Jr. got a match on the main roster before Ethan Page did. That's pretty crazy. But what'd you think of this, Tox?
I like the Open Challenge series. I did think it was someone from AAA. I actually thought it was going to be Psycho Clown. But I mean, it's cool to see. I don't even know the guy's name. But
Dr. Wagner Jr. It's the easiest way you can say it.
That. But the match was amazing. I mean, no complaints. I mean, that's how all of the Carmelo Hayes' open challenges have gone. But I mean, just that's it. I mean, it was a good match, and I don't have any complaints about it. I did think it was going to be Psycho Clown, though.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Psycho Clown, friend of the show. Shout out to him. But Then we go on to the women's tag team division. The new tag team champions, Nia Jax, Lash Legends, going to have a little celebration after they won the tag team titles last week. And they cut a good heel promo. You know, I forgot exactly like the word, but Nia Jax put themselves over in a big way, basically saying like, we're the shit, you know, and they look like it. They look like champions. They look intimidating because of the size difference. This is a big women's tag team, you know, they look good together. So I really like this segment. But the other thing too, I was wondering like, okay, what is next for the champions? Because now that Rhea Ripley is going to face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, Io Sky looks like she's going into the women's intercontinental title picture scene. I'm like, what is going to happen with the women's tag team division now? You know, there's a lot of changes happening. And Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss come out and they call her shot. Okay, that's cool. We still got some star power in the women's tag team division. Cool. And then Julia and Kiana James come out. Kiana James also calls her shot. And she's like, hey, I beat you guys a couple weeks ago it was a triple threat match. If anyone should get a title shot, it should be us. And this is how they set up a match. I don't know if this was a number one contenders match or just, okay, whoever wins out of these two teams is in the right path for a women's tag team title shot.
I mean, yeah, you know, Lash and Nia, you know, they give championship energy. They give champion energy. I mean, they're massive. They're big girls. They are, you know, fucking roadblocks, you know, for anybody who's trying to get championship gold. I will say that the only thing I don't like about this tag team is the name. I think the Irresistible Forces is the most generic WWE 2K, you know, a ring announcer selected name ever, because it is one you can choose in the games and have been able to for years. They have the Irresistible Forces and the Immovable Objects as options. So I think the name is really fucking stupid. I think they could have come up with something much better. But when it comes down to it, you know, all this is happening on the fly because WWE was definitely expecting Bianca Belair to be back in time to build this feud with Jade. And so they had to kind of last week and the week before fucking pull the trigger on a lot of things at Elimination Chamber in order to set Mania up on a better path, a correct path, with all these injuries happening, with all these people who are still out, having to think on the fly. And one of the things that they had to sacrifice was the tag team of Rhea and Io. Apparently, Rhea and Io were reportedly planned to go on for much longer to tell the story of them chasing singles gold and that being the rift between them, and Rhea finally getting a win over Io Sky, because she's never beaten her in one-on-one competition. But when it comes down to it, like, you do what you got to do. And the biggest match you can give Jade is Rhea. When it comes down to it, we sacrifice the tag division, which was arguably the biggest and most over thing on SmackDown for most of last year. And here we are, but we still have big stars in this women's tag division. You've got Charlotte, you got Alexa. And unfortunately, you know, that's also Nia. In my opinion, when you lose Rhea and Io, you're really only down to like two really impressive teams. And you're talking like Lyra Bailey, Alexa Charlotte, and, you know, Nia Lash, and that's it. So everybody else kind of feels like fodder. And that's how I felt when Julia and Kiana James walked out. I thought, yeah, you guys got to win. And yeah, Kiana, you pinned Alexa James, but you pinned Alexa Bliss, but you only pinned Alexa Bliss in the chamber because Asuka misted her. It's not because of anything you did that took her out. It's because she got blinded for 3 seconds. But when it came down to it, this is fine. If we're moving this in the direction that it needs to keep the women's tag division strong and you're keeping it competitive, then I'm fine with that, so long as the tag titles don't suffer from lack of booking and lack of direction. And I'm glad they're still trying to give this division direction, because as I said, it was the most over thing on SmackDown for a lot of last year. So, you know, this was fine, and I'm interested to see where it goes, and I just hope it's not spinning in circles too long. But I would like to note the Bella Twins announced they were back in the women's tag division over a month ago. We have not seen them. So I'm wondering if they pop up on the road to WrestleMania 2 to fill out this women's tag division more as well.
Yeah, to be honest, after the Bellas showed up once, I just completely gave up on them because I knew they weren't gonna show back up. But as soon as I was entertained with this until Nia and Lash started talking. I'm dead serious when I say this. They sat there and repeated themselves like 5 fucking times. We're the most dominant. We're the most dominant in the company, in the business. Shut up, we get it. You can say it once and then you can go backstage. I mean, we got the pyro, you got the champagne, you got the balloons, you got the fucking whatever it is on the mat. Just we get it. But it was okay, the match that this segment led into, where sure, I don't even know if we're talking about that, but I'm still gonna do it. What's it called? The match with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and Kiana James and Julia was fine, I guess, but I mean, I kind of expected it to be Charlotte and Alexa that win.
Here's my problem. Trick Williams seems to have the exact same problem as his fiance, which is saying the same shit over and over and over again.
Fiance?
Yeah, those two got engaged.
Who?
Trick
Lash
Williams
and Trick.
and Lash.
Oh, I thought you were about to tell me Trick and Nia. I was like, what?
No, and Lash Legend.
Okay.
No, Lash Legend and Trick Williams are engaged now. But still, those two have the exact same problem, saying the same shit over and over and over again. Every time she opened her mouth tonight, it was the exact same thing. As Toxic said, I'm the most dominant. We're the most dominant tag team. Nobody can beat us. Y'all are not ready for us. Like, we're going to beat, like, girl, shut the hell up or figure out something else to say. Because it just got super, super repetitive for me tonight to the point where I zoned out almost every time she opened her mouth. So as soon as Charlotte and Alexa came out, I'm like, thank God. Thank God. Because as soon as that pyro went off, I'm like, all right, when's the queen coming out? When's Charlotte? Then her music hits. Yes, thank God. Because that, like, Lash Legend has the same problem. It gets annoying real quick. But Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, great there. Don't see them splitting up anytime soon. But Julia, what the hell did you even say? Like, I heard, like, the back end of it, and I could understand that. What the hell did you call all four of them? Because
I speak a little Japanese, well, a good amount of Japanese. I believe the translation I got was she was essentially calling them losers in a denotation. It was a form of loser.
Okay, why couldn't she do that in English?
Her first language is
Japanese. Because she
Japanese.
can clearly speak. Yeah, I know, but she can still speak even a little bit of English. Why in the world couldn't she just say that?
Well, ask Kyrie and Asuka. Same exact thing.
Yeah, but that everyone knows what it means.
No, they say baku, baka, which is bitch or idiot.
Yeah, but
All
yeah.
right, well, that was Japanese.
When it comes to Julie, I just couldn't understand half of what the hell she said.
Well, that was Japanese class here with Snug Wrestling. Moving on, we had a few backstage segments. Well, in a 3-hour show, we had a lot of backstage segments, but this one in particular, we got to talk about really quick. Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes were backstage, where Sami Zayn was basically calling Cody Rhodes out on the fact that Cody didn't win the Elimination Chamber. He didn't defeat Drew McIntyre last time, I believe. So Cody has lost 2 opportunities, and yet somehow Cody still gets another title shot. And that was one of the things that a lot of fans were upset about online, but the WWE addressed this. The reason why Cody got this is because of Drew McIntyre's actions. Regardless of Nick Aldis, his reasoning for this, Sami Zayn does not like this. He's like, well, how come everything always works out for you, Cody? What about me? So we're starting to see more of this other side of Sami Zayn, and it seems to be getting stronger and stronger every week, because later on the show, We also saw a backstage segment with Sammy and Randy Orton. A little bit more calmer Sammy with Randy compared to Cody Rhodes, but Sammy was really going in on Cody in this backstage.
Here's the thing, too. I watched an interview with Drew McIntyre while I was cooking dinner earlier, and he brought up a really good point because, and you guys know, I have not been a fan of the Cody Drew story the entire time because it's been riddled with plot holes, riddled with stupid shit that I thought made no goddamn sense. Hey, I want to be the champion and take away the title from you. So I'm going to goad you into hitting me, knowing that it'll cost you the title, even though it was never said that if you forfeited the title by hitting me, that I would automatically be awarded it. That was never said. In fact, it means I'd probably have to fight a bunch of other people to get another opportunity. Stupid shit like that. Hey, I'm talking to Nick Aldis in my home. Somehow you randomly have my private address, even though we're in a blood feud. Shit like that. Hey, I got cost the fucking title by Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match because the babyface decided to beat the shit out of the babyface more just because he touched him on the shoulder instead of the guy he believes kicked his teeth down. Okay, so here we are, and more stupidity continues. I love Cody Rhodes to death, but him automatically getting a title shot makes no fucking sense because, as Drew put in the podcast, the contract said that if I beat Cody, he could not challenge for the title again while I was champion. That was not, that contract did not say, hey, if I interfere a bunch, then you get a title shot. It said, no, you can't challenge me again while I'm champion. And Nick Aldis just randomly retcons that, even though he was involved in that original story. And he just goes, fuck it. Fuck the contract. Fuck the original stipulation from the championship match in the steel cage. We're going to just give Cody a title shot. So I understand why Sammy is pissed because he's been paying attention like the fans have been paying attention. And it doesn't make sense that Cody should get this shot out of nowhere just because he's Cody Rhodes. I get it. If we were just handing out title shots for all the times people ran in on somebody's matches and fucked them out of a chance to win or whatever, dude, like legit, like Roman would still be champion. Drew would have been champion years ago. I mean, Kevin Owens would have been champion. Seth would be champion. Sammy would be champion. So it's like, it's just stupid. So I get why Sammy's like, yo, it's always you, but never me. And I work just as hard as you. I've been here just as long consecutively as you. So it's like, why do you just get the shots, but I've got to fight and claw, but someone can hit you from behind a couple times and all of a sudden, hey, you're in a title match. But I've been fighting for this forever. Totally get where Sammy's.
Part of the Drew and Cody story makes sense to me. Part of it, plot holes, don't understand it, just fucking dumb. But pardon me. I completely agree. Sammy has every right to feel the way he does because, I mean, dude, Cody, this almost makes me mad as much as Gunther when he took the title from Jay as soon as Jay took the title from him. That this makes me just as mad because love Cody to death, Cody crybaby for life, but just why does Cody need the title for a fucking third time? I mean, goddamn, when's it gonna be Sammy's time? When's it gonna be Jacob's time? Just can we get some more people? I mean, this is literally how the history of the title has went ever since Roman combined them. It was Roman, Cody, Cena, Cody, Drew, Cody. I mean, it's bullshit. And I just want someone else to hold that. Like after Cody loses it this next time, that's it. Just get him away from the world title picture for a while. I mean, just because I'm kind of getting sick of it. Nothing against him, but it's just kind of getting boring to me.
Sami Zayn's crash out, completely valid. It really is. Because as what has already been said, this entire storyline involving Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes is dumb as it really is. It is so dumb. Like, it is so dumb that even at the end of the show, in which we'll get to, I'm like, that's dumb. But still, his crash out is absolutely valid because he deserves to have a world title run by now. Just look at how long Sami Zayn has been crawling and scratching for it. And not once has he held a world title. He absolutely deserves to, 100%. But the problem is WWE is too busy not pulling the trigger on him, even though they absolutely should. Sami 100% needs a world title run before he retires. But the problem is, it seems like that's still going to be maybe next year. We're going to have to wait an entire year for that to happen, which pisses me off entirely because he deserves to have it a whole lot sooner than that. But just because of the fact that WrestleMania next year is in Saudi Arabia, that's probably where they're going to decide to pull the trigger on him, just because it's Saudi Arabia.
I mean, maybe, but we'll see about that. All right, you guys, now it's time to talk about the men's tag team division, tag team turmoil, where this is basically a tag team gauntlet match, if I'm not mistaken, right? And it started off with Fraxium and the Motor City Machine. Remember those guys? We haven't seen them in a long time. And then the third tag team was the Garzas, another team that we haven't seen in forever. So that was pretty refreshing, seeing a bunch of guys that we haven't seen in a long time. That was cool. The fourth team was the Wyatts. And then the last team, and the team that ended up winning this, was the new team of Damian Priest and R-Truth. Damian Priest is back in the tag team. Well, has Damian Priest been in the tag team division? I think he has, yeah.
If he has, it was a long time ago.
It was when he was still in the Judgment
Judgment Day.
with Finn and Dom and Rhea.
It had to be early on Judgment Day with him and Finn, though, because before JD even got involved.
I want to say that
there was a point where Damian Priest and Finn Balor were holding the titles, and R-Truth came in the middle of them holding the other one.
Is that when they were feuding with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? WrestleMania 39?
So, yeah.
Okay, that was Mania 39 time, yeah.
So Damian Priest is back in the tag team division, and I thought, good, at least they're using him for something, right? And Lord knows the tag team division can use some star power, especially after the teams that we saw tonight. And yeah, they won. Damian Priest and R-Truth won. They're the number one contenders to face the MFT. And I enjoyed the for the most part, the action was good. Especially the Garzas. I think the Garzas are like my favorite team out of all these guys. It picked up for me personally as soon as the Garzas hit the ring. But yeah, we have number one contenders after this tag team turmoil thing. That
it's not only nice to see them continuously using Damian Priest, even though I totally believe he belongs in the world title picture. Sick and tired of seeing him around here in the mid-card to upper mid-card. It's also nice to see them using fucking Truth. After fans basically forced the company to hire this man back, 6 months ago, 6.5? You know, we've seen him like maybe 5 times, 6 maybe. And after that whole serious I'm Ron killings, thing, then they're like, nah, forget all that. You're R-Truth again. But it's just good to see them both getting used. And I like that it's also full circle because R-Truth once tried to, weed his way into the Judgment Day through sheer comedic stupidity. And Damian was the one who couldn't stand having him around when everybody else was entertained by him. And Damian's the one who didn't want to hurt or attack him, but the other guys did. And then Damian finally pulled the trigger on beating the shit out of R-Truth to get him to get the point. And then here we are full circle where now they're a team and on the same side for real. I thought it was cool. I want to say my favorite part of this entire thing was actually Fraxi, who I thought the best tag team work I've seen in a long, long time was Fraxium against Motor City Machine, because Motor City Machine Guns have been one of my favorite teams for almost 20 years. I've seen them live a million times in TNA. I got their autographs. They are insane to watch in person when you're front row and you're 10 feet from the ring. But I thought these guys and Fraxium just fucking killed it. Give me a match between just these guys. Let them go 20 minutes. The technical working and the tag team psychology between these four was veteran level shit. And the Motor City Machine Guns are already veteran. Fraxium, they're not to the level of these guys veteran-wise status, but man, they fucking wrestled like they've been doing it for 20 years. And I thought it was insane. And again, Nathan Frazier continues to prove over and over again, give this guy something. He is underutilized. If they ever break up Fraxium, this motherfucker, even while he's in Fraxium, open challenge Carmelo Hayes. What a match that would fucking be. But I love this, but because of these four specifically.
Just really quick, got a couple comments here. Shout out to Prince J26. Cody Rhodes is overbooked. This is insane. I feel like people deserve to bring back the Randy versus Drew from 2020. We'll talk about that later on in the main event. They also say WWE has a lot of talent, and we see every single time the same people getting the pushes. Like Gargano deserves a lot, but he got put in as a jobber to increase selling for Obafemi. Thank you for your comments, Prince. Go ahead, talk.
So, go ahead.
What are we?
The tag turmoil.
Tag team turmoil.
Oh, that. Yeah, I lagged out. That's why I'm lost. The match was great. The only issue I have is one of the teams that were in, not Fraxium. Hell no, not the Garzas or Motor City, and not the new team, R-Truth and Damian Priest. It's the Wyatts. Why are the Wyatts in here when they just lost the titles? I mean, if anything, where the fuck are the Street Profits? I mean, they should be there. They should have been in there instead of the Wyatts, in my opinion. But the match was great. Outcome was expected. And I need to see this tag match at Mania. I don't need to see it anywhere else on free TV. I need to see it at Mania.
But again, as far as it goes, I agree with you on the Street Profits, man. Like the Wyatts and the MFTs have been oversaturating this division for the better part of half a year. And I'm sick of seeing both teams. I'm so tired of seeing Wyatt 6 and MF. But we have recent footage of the Street Profits literally working live events, and it's like they can work live events, but you can't get them on TV. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Come on.
I've heard that they're not using the Street Profits because they have some. It's basically like what they were doing with Rusev. They're keeping them off of TV so they can build like a story with them, or I'm not sure.
A repackaged type thing or something.
But
yeah.
Even still, you can repackage them however you want, but you're never going to get the fans to fully get behind these guys if they're stuck at home for 4 or 5 months at a time. I don't even know the last time I saw Motor City Machine. I don't. And out of every team involved here, they are literally the literal veterans who made a career out of tag teaming, a career out of it. And to me, to have veterans like that have so much to offer that division, so much to offer those new guys that they could guide them in this division, and to have them sit at home for fucking 5 months is insane to me. Why are you hiring these people if you have no plans on using them consistently? It makes no sense to me to burn money like that and waste their time.
Well, since Tommy isn't back yet, for the sake of time, we're going to move on because we saw Rhea Ripley on SmackDown. She pulled up and called out Jade Cargill. These two women are going to face each other at WrestleMania for the Women's WWE Championship. And I thought this was a good kickoff to this feud, this build-up to their match. Two great athletes, right? I mean, Rhea Ripley, she is a freak of nature when it comes to like how she's built. Rhea Ripley is usually the bigger one when she's in the ring with the competitor. She's just physically intimidating, right? But standing next to Jade Cargill, that's a completely different story. Jade Cargill has Rhea Ripley overpowered. She's just a lot bigger. And this is something that Jade Cargill pointed out in her promo. Yeah, you're big, Rhea, but I'm bigger. You got big arms. My arms are bigger, you know. So that right there, that kind of puts Rhea Ripley in that position like, Rhea Ripley's it's not the powerhouse in this situation. It's Jade Cargill. So I thought that was interesting. I like how they pointed that out. And Rhea Ripley was like, you know what? You're right. You are bigger. Your arms are bigger, but you just look the way that you do so you can pose and take pictures. And that's it. Me, I'm built so I can outlast in the ring. I'm built for this wrestling shit. Like, I am built differently. You might be more athletic. You might look bigger than me. You might be more muscular than me, but I'm the real deal here when it comes to this wrestling shit. So I really enjoyed this promo with these two women, man. I want to see more of this, and I'm hooked.
Yeah, I genuinely thought that half this promo was fucking cringe and painful to get through, and that entire half came from Jade Cargill. I used to be really, really, really high on Jade Cargill. Really was. You know, when it comes down to it, that old Twitter war they had over the weekend where Jade literally, and by the way, Dave Meltzer, for those who don't know, originally broke the report that their Twitter feud was WWE actually creating that to stir up buzz for this, to give a reason as to why they would feud, to start the feud. Then other reports by like 3 other different outlets completely debunked that. No, that Twitter feud over the weekend was a shoot. It was a shoot. There are reports from many people that over the last couple of years, Jade backstage has been extremely insecure, has a lot of heat with people backstage. If y'all remember, a couple of years ago, there was a story that it got so bad that, of all people, Shayna Baszler was reportedly about to fight Jade Cargill because of Jade's attitude and demeanor and how she is towards people backstage. She's fucking full of herself. That's a shoot. That's coming from a lot of people. And a lot of people jumped to Jade or to Rhea's defense on that Twitter spat. So here we are, where they're trying to play nice during this promo. There's no chemistry between them because there's genuine heat between them. And you'd think that would generate chemistry. No, it was awkward. It was a little uncomfortable, and not in a cool, let's build a story way. It was Jade probably got talked to and was like, get your ass in line, do this story, do business the right way. And so she cuts a cookie cutter heel promo about, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, I respect you, but I'm not impressed by you, I'm that bitch. And it was extremely slow plotted, very, very awkwardly said, because the way she delivers promos is not believable. She literally cuts her promos like a 9th grader in a school play. I'm bigger than you, Rhea. I'm stronger than you, Rhea. I'm that bitch. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, shut the fuck up. Let Rhea talk. And Rhea talked. And Rhea straight up mixed shoot with kayfabe, the real way to do business. And she straight up said, you know what? You're built for show. I'm built for fighting. All those muscles don't do a damn thing for you when you get in the ring with me. And at the end of the day, it's true. You might have the size, Cargill, but you don't have the experience. You don't have the ferocity, the tenacity, and you're sacrificing a 4th thing with all that muscle, speed. And that's where Rhea's going to fucking get her at Mania. She's going to be faster, and Rhea's got more stamina. She's going to outlast her. Here's the thing. Do you have Rhea beat Jade so you can boost up the ratings on SmackDown at Mania? I think so, but then you sacrifice the story that you had to put on hold with her and Io. So I'm worried they're going to let Jade go over Rhea at Mania. But as far as it goes, I thought this promo was only good because Rhea was actually the only one working in a way that worked.
I want to give a quick shout out real quick. It's Shumei. Sorry if it's me. My bad. So do we need Vince back now or later? Y'all think he's coming back?
Never. How about never?
They also say, yeah, he's too old, bro. He doesn't need.
He's also
Jade,
a sick piece of shit.
Jade needs to go back to AEW. I'm just saying, sucks. WWE couldn't use her better. She's the main event at WrestleMania. I mean, how much better? And she's a champion.
That
How
doesn't
much
matter.
better
That's
can
all.
that get,
That's
though?
pomp and circumstance, homie. If you're looking in the last 2 years since she came in at the Rumble, she has not improved. So as far as it goes, and maybe it's not great just to have everybody skip the line. Let's remind ourselves, the only reason she went straight to the main roster, she's such a big deal, is because she's a former AEW star. That is it. And the only reason she is the champion on SmackDown is because they knew Tiffany Stratton's run wasn't working, and they had all their other big stars in tag divisions or out injured, and she was the only person that made sense with the biggest women's stars being on Raw, aside from Charlotte Flair and Alexa. She's a champion by circumstance, not because they believe that she's championship.
Yeah, and if you ask Jade Cargill, hey, do you want to stay in WWE, be a champion, and main event WrestleMania, or do you want to go back to AEW? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it kind of answers itself.
Yeah, ask and answer.
But yeah, I completely forgot about that whole fucking Twitter beef thing because I thought it was so ridiculous how, some people were like, oh, this is for real, or oh, this is they're working. They want to make you believe that they really hate each other. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But I noticed that it doesn't matter to me. It matters to a lot of people, but I can care less. So I didn't really look into it. But the way that this promo started, they started off with a handshake, and that automatically was like, oh, see, like, I don't know if they did that on purpose because of this whole Twitter thing that says, hey, we're going to be pros here, or I don't know, but it was very symbolic that the first thing that they did when they first got in the ring face to face is they shook hands after everything that they've been saying throughout, these past couple days.
I guarantee you WWE, someone in WWE had a talking with Jade and said, that's not how we do, because that's why you got to take the shit Dave Meltzer says with a pinch of salt, because he's the one who reported it was a work by the company. The whole Twitter spat was a work. Then you had real legitimate news sources like Sean Ross Sapp, the Fightful Select, real legitimate, usually on the mark wrestling outsources that were like, no, we've got reports from people in the company and higher ups. That was not planned. That was Jade literally building a feud through pure shoot and not a mixture of kayfabe. And Rhea got legitimately pissed off, and people legit came to Rhea's defense. That's why Piper Niven was in there jumping down, Jade's throat. And then Jade responded with, oh, well, whenever you come back, I'll make you look good, Piper. Like shit like that. It's just not how you do business. I'm sorry, but Jade just isn't a professional. She doesn't conduct herself as a professional. She shouldn't be a champion if she can't be. It's too much responsibility.
Which is why I think overall, and we all have been saying it since the beginning, she should not have come up straight to the main roster. Plain and simple. The only reason why she did is because of the fact that she's a former AEW star. That's it. But she should have gone down to NXT and developed more. Because as Blood said, she can't cut a damn promo for her life. She has proven that already. She is going up against one of the best talkers in the women's division right now. And she is still ruining this entire segment. Like, you know how I said at the beginning that there were some ups and there were some downs? Yeah, for me, here was the down. Plain and simple. Here, this segment was the down, all because Jade Cargill had to be on my screen. I do not like her as champion. I do not like the fact that it took 100 days just for her first defense, and her second defense, odds are, won't be until WrestleMania against Rhea Ripley. So, yeah, take the damn title off of her. Someone please do it. If it's not Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, give it to anyone but Jade Cargill at this point.
Damn, and I thought I was a hater. Speaking of haters, Johnny Wrestling. Wait, Johnny who? God, Johnny Gargano, man. Thought he was hot shit. He came out all fired up. Oh, it's time that people remember my name. Johnny Wrestling. Yeah. Yeah, I'm tired of being depressed, and I'm going to show everybody who I am. All right, Johnny. And he does an open challenge of his own. Anyone who wants it, come get it. I'm right here, whoever it is. And they call out Obafemi. Obafemi answers. He comes out, and I'm like, this is fucking great, man. Now I actually am interested in something Johnny Gargano is doing for once. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be so good. And it was worth every minute of it because Obafemi destroyed Johnny Gargano. And this was perfect. This is perfect because to me, this is in this position is what makes sense to me in my eyes as to what Johnny Gargano should be doing if I'm being. So I love this. I thought this was dope.
All right. Well, aside from you trying to continuously troll Ricochet, when it comes down to it, look, this was stupid. I'm not a fan of this. I think it's a waste of fucking time. Specifically, I think it's a waste of Obafemi's time. I'm tired of them bringing up these big guys. You make a big deal out of them, and then you spend a month squashing gimmicks around comedy. That's what it was. It was Kit Wilson. It was fucking The Miz. Somebody else I'm blanking on. And now it's fucking Johnny Gargano doing his whole sleep-depressed fucking gimmick, which for some reason they're trying to play it off as lighthearted comedy. Him planking on the fucking announcer's desk last week. I'm busting out laughing, Triple H. Is this what you want? Is this what you want from me, Triple H? It's funny. Between you and Vince McMahon's toilet humor, I don't know who's the best fucking comedian. But Jesus, y'all must be a riot at parties if this is all it takes to fucking get y'all to laugh. When it came down to it, I was like, this is a waste of time. Give fucking Oba a match. I mean, we finally thought we were going to get one on Monday with him and Rusev. Nope. Just an angle that had no heat because the audience just doesn't give a shit about Rusev. And for some reason, Rusev has this horrible fucking vacuum around him. Whoever he's in the ring with, no matter what he's doing, it's heatless because he's involved. And it's not his fault. It's because WWE doesn't know how to build him up properly, and they're not doing what works. If you had brought him back with Rusev Day, he'd be over his shit. But no, you're not doing that. And now we're just relegating Oba to, the big bad of the week or the show of the night. Who am I going to come out and squash now? It's not doing anything for him. We already know he can beat these people, so why are we impressed? You think I expect Kit Wilson to beat the fuck out of Oba? No. You think I expect The Miz, the way they've been booking him now, to be a threat to Oba? No. You think Johnny Gargano, who was planking face first on the announcer table for an entire fucking match last week, I expect him to be taken as a serious threat against Oba? No. So why are you wasting Oba's time with these stupid squash matches? That shit might have worked in Vince's fucking bullshit day with Ryback. Today, people want to actually see the man do real shit, have competitive matches, not just come out there and be the fucking freak of the week with his strength and come out there and squash people that are being booked as jobbers. I'm sorry. It's not doing anything for his momentum. It's stalling time. And that's what the problem is. They're stalling because they're probably going to have him answer Brock. And because Brock isn't scheduled every fucking week, they got to kill time with him and keep making him look strong. And that's all this was. And it was pointless.
Yeah, this literally could have been the promo and I would have been fine with it. There's that. But I said this last week and I will gladly say it again. There are 3 men that we want going up against Obafemi. Those 3 men are Brock Lesnar, Gunther, and you literally just said his name. Why the fuck am I blanking on?
Rusev?
And Rusev, yes. It's just proof that nobody gives a shit about Rusev is the fact that I literally just forgot his name, even though Blood said his name 3 seconds ago. But still, those are the 3 names that Obafemi should be going up against. Have we seen him against Rusev yet? No. They have yet to pull the trigger on that. Have we seen him go up against Gunther? Not even a conversation between the two. Brock Lesnar is the only one left. And we have seen a face-off with them at the Rumble. Hopefully, this means that he will be accepting that open challenge, and we will at least get 1 out of the 3. And then maybe later on, we'll get Rusev. Maybe later on, we'll get Gunther. Either way, those are the only 3 names I want going up against Obafemi. Mainly because of the size of all 3. Because it doesn't seem like anyone else right now comes even close to beating Obafemi or even becoming a threat to Obafemi.
All right, you guys. The main event, I was really pissed off going into this main event match, not because of the fact that Cody Rhodes got another title shot, even though he didn't earn it technically, right? It was because for the past few days, the fucking finish was spoiled. I had to unfollow a bunch of wrestling sites on Instagram because they were literally posting Drew McIntyre is going to lose the championship on Friday Night SmackDown versus Cody Rhodes. And some of them were like, oh, reports are strongly suggesting that Cody's going to win on Friday, but, you know, it's not guaranteed. Take it with a grain of salt. And I'm like, then why the fuck would you post it? And then I started seeing more and more and more, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it's one thing. Okay, I was kind of hoping that the WWE maybe let this information out, and then they were going to swerve us at the end and be like, got you guys. You know, we just did that just to get you guys to watch. So I'm like, okay, I'm hoping for a miracle here, right? I love Cody, right? Because of that, I wanted to see Drew McIntyre win just so all those fucking sites can shut the fuck up about posting shit like. So, okay, that was one thing. That's my first gripe about this. Was this match a fucking no DQ match or something? Because at one point, Cody had Drew in the figure four. Drew was grabbing the ropes, yanking on the ropes on the bottom rope. And the referee, there was no rope break. The referee just kind of put his hands up and was like, hey, there's nothing I can do. Okay, this is a WWE Championship match. Then they go to the announce table. They were supposed to do a spot on the announce table, but the announce table didn't hold, and it broke prematurely. So what does Cody do? Because the fans start chanting, "We want tables," which is one of the stupidest chants, if you ask me. It's a championship match. Why the fuck do you want to see tables? You got Cody and Drew, two of the biggest stars in the company. Cody goes out of his way, grabs a table under the ring, and then gets powerbombed through the table. No DQ. And I know sometimes it's like, oh, this is a championship match. The referee doesn't want it to end in a DQ. Okay. But there was like a few moments in this match where it felt like a no DQ match at this. So I was confused on that. I might be missing something. I don't know. And the whole time I was expecting Sami Zayn to come out. It wasn't. It was Jacob Fatu. The referee, a couple referees get knocked out. Drew McIntyre headbutts the second referee. That's not a DQ either. Like maybe the other referee who was knocked out first didn't see it. But the second referee that got taken out never comes back in this match ever again. That's another thing to me that pissed me off that makes no fucking sense. Is that headbutt really that fucking dangerous? Hey, the second referee is up. Hey, this motherfucker headbutted me. That's a disqualification. Whatever. Okay. But yeah, fucking Cody Rhodes ends up winning after all of that. And it's just like, well, thanks all these fucking wrestling news sites for ruining the fucking finish. Like, oh my God. I love Cody. Now we're going to get Cody versus Randy. But that shit pissed me off. This main event could have been a lot better if they didn't ruin the fucking finish ahead of time.
Didn't ruin shit for me. I already knew Cody was going to win because the bigger story is Cody and Randy. When you look back at the chamber, Randy capitalized on Cody, and they spent an exorbitant amount of time camera angle wise showing the parallels between Cody's reaction to losing and Randy's reaction to winning and feeling almost guilty that he snuck one on Cody to win. And I was like, the moment I saw that, I was like, interesting. And then as soon as Nick Aldis announced in the post show that it was this title match tonight, I was like, Cody's going over, because they wouldn't have set all that up at the end of the chamber with all those camera angles, all that focus in on Randy's, guilt coming across his face for essentially allowing Cody to get screwed over and capitalizing on it and showing Cody's just despondent reaction. They would not have put all the effort into all that camera angling if it wasn't for something, because it's supposed to be subtle storytelling. And you got to be honest, I'm glad Cody won, even though I'm sick and tired of seeing him win, because I didn't want to see Drew versus Randy. Because I'm sorry, I remember the last couple times these guys fought. It's boring. It's so slow paced between them. They're two extremely large men that move at very methodical paces when they wrestle. And I don't want to see that at Mania. I just don't. I don't want a snooze fest. I mean, one of the biggest things the IWC and wrestling fans alike have been very, very, vocal about over the last many years is, oh, great, it's another Randy match. We love Randy. We do love Randy, but we don't always love to see Randy wrestle like Randy because he's slow and meticulous and methodical. And when you want a high energy night, his matches slow it down. So you don't want that on a Mania card unless he's against someone who's a fast worker. Well, Cody's fast, Cody's speedy. But I'd also like to note, I don't believe this is going to be Randy versus Cody at Mania. I think this is the start of Randy versus Cody that is going to wind up being a feud for SummerSlam. I do believe this match is going to wind up still being a multi-man match. I 100% believe it is still going to involve Jacob. It's going to involve Sammy somehow. It's going to involve Drew. And it's going to be a multi-man match for this WWE Undisputed Championship. And then whatever that outcome is, it's going to cause the rift or start the rift between Cody and Randy that's going to culminate at SummerSlam for a feud. And I think either Randy's going to be heel or we're finally going to get a Cody heel turn. But I think that's what this is. And I'm calling it now. This is not a one-on-one at Mania. This is at least a 5-way.
Good Lord. But, okay, a part of me wanted to believe that Drew McIntyre was going to win this, right? Because I'm like, God damn, like, poor Drew McIntyre. He deserves to be the main event at WrestleMania. I understand that Cody versus Randy is a bigger story. But I'm like, you know what? After seeing this match tonight, I wouldn't mind seeing Drew versus Randy anymore at WrestleMania. And I'm like, they wouldn't dare. They wouldn't fucking take the belt off of Drew McIntyre literally a month away from WrestleMania, right? Like they wouldn't, right? So I wanted to believe that Drew McIntyre would get his moment in main event WrestleMania.
Well, let me
poo-pooed all over him.
Let me ask you something. And better yet, I want you to clip this because I want to ask this for our fans, for the wrestling fans out there, for the Snug Wrestling fans. I want to clip this question and I want people to tell us in the comments what you honestly believe. And here is the question I am presenting to you. Cody won tonight over Drew. Do you believe in your heart of hearts, for real, not just because you like him, let's be real, is Drew a draw? Is Drew McIntyre a legitimate draw, or is he just a really great wrestler who's very charismatic and knows how to do exceptional character work? But is he putting asses in seats in a main event at Mania without someone like Cody Rhodes or a Randy Orton or a Roman Reigns or a CM Punk? Is he a draw? That is the question. And I don't believe he is a draw in the same stratosphere as those men I just named.
Shout out to It's Me. I see your questions, but we're talking about SmackDown right now. We're talking about the main event. Cody versus Drew McIntyre, but I appreciate your questions. They're really good. Well, that's going to do it. I mean, what a crazy finish to WWE SmackDown. Cody Rhodes is going to go to Mania. Fucking insane, dude. But overall, enjoyable SmackDown, I thought. We'll be back again. We'll be back again probably tomorrow or maybe tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not really sure yet, but we will be back. Everyone that's been hanging out with us in the comments, thank you. If you're new, follow us, social media, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all that good stuff. And let's get out of here.
Guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Snug Wrestling. Thank you guys for tuning in. That was the March 6th edition of SmackDown. That review is now in the books. Of course, you guys can hang out with us every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after Raw, NXT, and SmackDown go off the air respectively for live post-show reviews. And, of course, Thursday nights for our one-on-one TikTok live streams where me, Mr. Blood, and the host of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, go one-on-one for an hour for random or relevant wrestling topics. And, of course, you can always check out the bonus content from segment to segment every single show for live reaction content. And, of course, we're always live for all these shows on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you do miss the shows live, all of our archive is on Apple and Spotify, where you can follow us there and catch up on all of Snug Wrestling. And, of course, this weekend will be the NXT review for Vengeance Day. That'll either be tonight or tomorrow night or Sunday night. It is undetermined. But, again, if you do miss it live when the notifications do hit your screen, of course, you can always catch it on Apple and Spotify hours later once it's uploaded. and support the podcast by heading on over to TeePublic. That is TEE public.com/Snug Wrestling, where you can pick up all or any of your Snug Wrestling merchandise and support the podcast, guys. And again, thank you so much for kicking with us. Until next time, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug.